Recording in progress.
Yo, what up? What up, folks? Welcome. It's another edition of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Live right now on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, Facebook Live, Twitch, and on our Twitter handle. You can watch us live. The Twitter handle is at Barbershop SPOR2. I'm Trey Frazier, and that's the homie Maestro Styles. What's good, man? What's going on, man? Super Bowl week. They started it last night, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I was just trying to scramble around the TV to see what was on, and I just so happened to pop into. So they had both the quarterbacks, they had both tight ends on stage doing the interviews. Then they had both coaches doing the interviews, and who they had? They had the running backs out there, they had the D linemen out there, and it's like, all right, like y'all asking them these questions and stuff, and it's like, all right, like what you want them to say? Like, of course they want to beat the team, like they want to beat the person that's next to them. So it's just, I don't know, it's just weird. It's just weird when they got them up, when they got both of the teams at positions up there interviewing them at the same time. It just looks weird. With Cam, with Cam. Well, I didn't hear him on social media, but I did hear him say at one of the pressers. It was either today or yesterday, where he said, "Hey, I appreciate what Cam has to say, but from a game manager, I'm a game manager. There's only what do you say? I think 60 or 70 different quarterbacks in the league, and he's not one of them. Something to that ilk." So yeah, I heard that. I did hear that. I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah, yeah. Shout out to the homie. Shout out to him.
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess we should. Well, first of all, we got a guest coming on. Young Heavy. I feel like I'm about to mess up the name of his podcast, and so I don't want to do that out of respect for the homie.
Yeah.
But
Shout out to the crew over at Sports After Dark.
Sports After Dog. I don't know. I'm sorry. That's not.
Shout out to the crew. Ashley Baker, Young
Yeah,
Heavy, Chris Lewis.
Chris Lewis. Yeah,
We had Chris on here a couple years ago. We had Ashley on here last year, and the homie Big Young Heavy is a 49ers fan, so we're gonna talk with him about the
for sure.
team, what he expects. Him, doing the whole podcasting thing, and just a couple more things to talk about. So that'll be in about 10 minutes, when he pops on here. So certainly looking forward to that
For sure, for
conversation
sure.
for certain.
Yeah, so shout out to the whole crew over there. Shout out to Young Heavy. Yeah, I mean, Super, his team in the Super Bowl, man. So he gonna get to talk. Obviously we gonna get to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah,
Before we get
absolutely.
into that, I guess we'll do a lot of our Super Bowl talk when he get on, and I guess afterwards we
Yep.
gotta do a couple of quick shout outs, man.
Yep.
Juju Watkins of USC, female on the USC women's basketball team, scoring 51 against Stanford to beat
Mm-hmm.
Stanford over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Juju Watkins. I don't pretend to know much about her. I know she's from California, number one recruit
Mm-hmm.
coming out of school. Shout out to her. Um, Kazuki Anaguchi is a boxer, a 23-year-old boxer who just recently passed. He fought in December.
Mm-hmm. At age
Um,
23, you said?
yeah, 23 years old.
Damn.
He got into a fight. I mean, not got into a fight. He was boxing in like the day after Christmas. I remember seeing him. I remember seeing the story, but he suffered brain damage after that fight
Yep.
and never came back from it. So
Wow. Wow.
yeah, for sure. Rest in peace to
Rest in
him.
peace. Rest in
Condolences and
peace.
prayers to the family. Um, Bradley Bill. Um, you know, shout out to Bradley Bill.
Yep.
Obviously,
Came back.
you
Came
know,
back to DC, right?
and he came back to DC last weekend and cooked.
Mm-hmm.
He's been injured majority of this season
Yeah.
in Phoenix,
Mm-hmm.
but made sure he made it his business to come back and cook with us. Um, and
Shame on me. Shame on me because I've been playing a lot of FanDuel lineups lately, and that was the one game that I had in the lineup where I could just pick players and stuff. And I should have known Brad Beal going back to DC, he probably gonna cook.
the
And
defense is bad.
yep, right.
Team is bad.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. And
Yeah.
I started Durant, I started Booker, and I think I started Nurkic in the lineup.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I started those three guys, but I didn't put Bradley Beal in that lineup. So this was a 9-player lineup. It wasn't just that game. It was another game that was going on at the same time that I could pick players from. And obviously with the salaries and stuff, you got to try to fit as much, good players as you can, and then you got to try to be able to fit in some of the bench players with the low salaries, right? So, because I only get a $60,000 cap, so
Yeah.
I got to figure that out, right? Man, I don't even know what place I ended up. I think I ended up like 250 something out of 3 something, bruh. And I should have known. I should have known Brad Beal was gonna cook that night, going back to DC where he spent the majority of his career. Shame on me, man.
Yeah, I didn't watch the game, but because I'm not interested in watching Wizards basketball right this second. But from what I was seeing, they was like feeding him, like, yeah, no, go get yours.
Right.
Got the standing ovation. I mean, look, we are clearly grateful for what he contributed as a Washington Wizard. So it's like, much like how when John Wall came back with the Clippers last year, obviously he didn't score like that, but he had his little moment where he got his little moment that, he stood up on the stands. This is my city. Woo, woo, woo. Like, I look. I don't like that. Like, part of me respects it. Again, I respect John Wall as a Wizard. I respect Bradley Bill as a Wizard. But hey, don't come over here. I don't like the fact that we not a good team and ex players just get to come over here and kind of do what they want. I don't really care for it, and it's low key. It's low key like very disappointing that we are so bad where ex players get to come and this is my city and cook us for 43.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It's crazy. So John Wall did the whole this is still my city kind of a thing, and the crowd was all into that, right? But then Brad just kind of did it a little subtle. He was just like, you know what, I ain't gonna do all that shouting and getting up on the podium and all that stuff. I'm gonna just go ahead and drop 41 on y'all niggas to see what y'all niggas been missing.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So,
Wild
I mean,
stuff.
shout out to Bradley Bill, but I ain't like it.
Yeah.
Um, Look, man. So, well, no, let's get into the Commanders because I don't like this either.
Okay. Go
Um,
ahead.
the Commanders hired Dan Quinn. They hire Whit Joe. I want to say his name is they hired. They basically went got everybody from Dallas outside of Cliff Kingsbury. They just went as many as Dallas coaches that would come from
Did they
Dan
get
Quinn.
Al Harris?
No, no, no.
Oh,
As
okay.
of now, no. But
Okay.
uh, that's an exaggeration. But basically, everybody outside of Cliff Kingsbury that was hired was from Dan Quinn's staff. They
Yep.
came over to
Yep.
Washington. Obviously Sunday, scrolling Twitter and I see Cliff Kingsbury is hired.
Yep.
Um, but I'm sorry, nothing had been announced about Eric Bieniemy.
Right.
My issue is one. I ain't mad at they. I am kind of mad, but I guess whatever. But shouldn't you have to let us know, or not only us, because I'm not a Commanders fan, but don't you feel like they should let people know that Eric Bieniemy is going to move on before you hire another offensive coordinator? Like
It was weird. It was weird to me because I know usually when you change the head coach wants to bring his own players and his own staff members, and then that previous regime is always kind of up in the air. Sometimes the teams will say, "Hey, we've released so and so of their duties," and sometimes it means when the head coach goes, that means the people underneath of him go.
yeah.
So I did think it was strange at the time that when they let Rivera go, I even asked last week, "Hey, what's the deal with Eric Bieniemy? Like, what's going on?" And so they hire Cliff Kingsbury, and folks on my timeline kind of questioning the same thing, like, "Yo, what happened to Eric Bieniemy? Like, what's going on here?" And so to me, it was kind of them basically saying, "Hey, we got rid of Eric Bieniemy," without really, really saying we got rid of Eric Bieniemy. But I'm with you. That ain't the way you're supposed to really go about it. Like, you could have at least made the announcement, "Hey, we've released Eric Bieniemy of his duties."
Yeah.
Like, people would have, like, we would have known that already. Like, we wouldn't be questioning where his whereabouts are amongst you picking up Cliff Kingsbury. Like, we wouldn't question that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I feel like that's disrespectful. I get that, some fans and some people didn't feel like Eric Bieniemy did a good job in his first year and that maybe he wasn't cut out for the job.
Right.
But I'm sorry. Give the man and maybe it's not the man because maybe they told him, maybe he knew. But
you're
I feel
supposed to
like,
tell the public. You're supposed to.
I feel like he's supposed to tell the public.
Yeah.
Man. I do. I do.
PR is supposed to get that out.
So, I know we talked about this briefly last week that, Eric Bieniemy didn't do the best he could do in his first year offensive coordinator.
Right.
Kind of, not even kind of went away from the run and,
Yep.
Sam Howell was cooking for a minute, but, slowed all the way down. But I got to thinking about, this and we crucified or attempted to crucify Shady McCoy when he came out and said, I don't know why, to the effect, I don't know why this dude getting a job and, he don't really do nothing as far as offensive play calling. And I remember saying something to the effect of, what would have to, we talked about what would kind of have to happen for us to kind of give credence to what Shady McCoy is saying. Like, he was there, and we tried to, we kind of played it off as, the dude was hating.
Right.
But when we think about it,
but and in the middle of that, before you go, we kind of also said, well, if everyone else on the Chiefs is giving Eric Bieniemy this praise, and Shady McCoy, who again was on one of them Super Bowl teams but didn't really get a lot of burn, we thought that, okay, this was Shady McCoy kind of getting at Eric Bieniemy because maybe he didn't get as much playing time as maybe he hoped he was going to get. So maybe there was sort of feelings, hard feelings with what he said about him.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said he was hating.
Yeah.
So, but then more than that, but I was going on to say, you know, there wasn't a lot of interest in Eric Bieniemy after a while. Like they you know, he had been there. You know what I'm saying? They had won Super Bowls. Obviously, most potent offense in the past, 5 years at the time anyway.
Right.
At the time. And me and you were talking about it, lobbying for it every year. Like, why is this dude not being interviewed for head coaching jobs or at least lateral movement?
Right.
I wonder, and I'm not going to throw this on him, but it is something that you should at least put a red flag on. Like, here we are. His Shady McCoy said what he said. The lack of interest going into him actually getting a job before he got the job with Washington.
Yep.
And then him doing the job he did in his first year. Is it fair to at least put a red flag on the idea that maybe this guy isn't who everybody thought he would be or we wanted him to be?
So I won't do that, and the reason I won't do that is because Eric Bieniemy, while we did have some high hopes that eventually he would have got the head coaching position with the Commanders, knowing that this was a lame duck season for Ron Rivera, the situation was still the situation in Washington. It was still some of that toxic, workplace stuff that still was kind of going on as far as ownership change, the players talking about Eric Bieniemy was too hard on them. I don't put that more on Eric Bieniemy more than I kind of put it on their culture per se. But I don't think that. In other words, I'll say this: let Eric Bieniemy have gone to maybe a better situation where the coach wasn't on the hot seat, and maybe he could coordinate for a couple seasons, 3 seasons. Maybe you got a better quarterback that's in place. Maybe he could call the plays. Maybe you got some other pieces there. But the only thing that I will call out Eric Bieniemy on is, and I think I mentioned it last week, and in particularly the Dallas game last year, because there were 3rd and shorts, 4th and short situations where he just decided, hey, I'm going to throw the ball. And it didn't work out for him. And in my head, I'm like, Antonio Gibson, the kid Robinson. I think those are capable running backs that could get you a couple of yards in those kinds of situations. So when I see Commanders fans on the timeline say, hey, he didn't call great plays, that's some of the things that I do think about, right? But as a whole, though, I'm not going to give any credence to what Shady had said before he got the job, and I still kind of stand by, well, if the other Chiefs are saying positive things about him, then I'd rather just go with what the other Chiefs are saying about him versus what Shady McCoy is saying, given, he was on that team with less playing time. I'll still stand by that.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, and I lean more towards what you're saying. I'm leaning more towards agreeing with you. But for me, I think it's at least worth mentioning because, look, man, he didn't call great plays in his first year.
That's a fact.
He didn't do that. The interest wasn't there before he made the lateral move to Washington. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, that's logical to at least say. I'm with you. I won't put too much on that. But to let him go first year, coming off of, however you feel he was in Kansas City. I don't know. Because it's not like these players that spoke up for Eric Bieniemy was talking too much about, oh, he's a great play caller. He's a great this, that, and the third. They just liked him as a coach. Like, he could, Tomlin gets that a lot. He's a good person. He's good with the players. But nobody got into the, oh, he's a great play caller. His schemes, his this, that, and the third.
Right.
So I don't know. I at least got my antenna.
I'll say one last thing about this, and then we'll get to our guest. Yeah. The media needs to stop bringing up his past transgressions. I don't care that he got arrested back in college. We're talking almost 25, 30 years ago with Eric Bieniemy.
I'm glad I didn't see that.
We need to stop bringing that stuff up, because that really has nothing to do with him trying to get a head coaching job or
that nigga had a whole
coordinator
NFL
job.
career after college. Like, why
Right.
would you bring it up? Yeah,
Right.
I
Like
don't know about that.
we got to stop that. So
Yeah, for
let's
sure.
let's get to the homie right here, man. Co-host of the Sports After Dark podcast. Shout out to Ashley Baker, Chris Lewis. We got the homie Young Heavy right here, repping the Niners, gang, Niner gang, and all that good stuff. You can follow him on Twitter and all that good stuff, man. Young Hev, man, appreciate you coming in, man. How's everything?
Everything is good, man. I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to come on y'all show, man, and just talk sports, man. It's an honor, and I'll never take it for granted.
Yes, sir.
No
That's
doubt,
what's
man.
up.
Appreciate
That's what's
that.
up.
Hey, first thing, man. Congrats to you and Ashley on the engagement. I just want to say that because
Salute.
a lot of folks out there were surprised that you two were together. Like, did you get that same feeling?
Well, I mean, we thought a lot of people knew because if you followed both of us, we thought, you know, what I mean, some people would put two and two together. I think we just didn't go hard to like broadcast. It was like if you
Right.
knew, you knew,
Yep.
Right.
type of a thing. But you know, we were shocked once we announced that we were engaged and all the feedback. Like people were like, "What?" I mean, I'm like, "Wow, I thought a lot of people knew." You know, so it was kind of crazy to us, but God is good, man, and we're blessed, man, and she's a part of the reason why I'm where I'm at right now. She's been the
That's
main
what's
person
up.
that's been pushing me to where I'm at right now. So I'm very
That's what's
thankful for
up.
her.
Yeah.
For
One
sure,
of the
sure.
hardest working individuals in the business is Ashley Baker for certain. Definitely,
Absolutely.
definitely doing her thing out there. But hey, first off, man, talk to us about Sports After Dark because I see you guys have been doing it in the Twitter Spaces for a while, and then you guys have now taken it to YouTube. Whose idea was that? You know, what came into the thought process of deciding to go to YouTube?
Honestly, it's like I kind of put a bug in her ear, probably actually Baker's ear, probably was like a year ago. And I'm like, what you think about us going to YouTube? I said, because we kind of did what we needed to do on Twitter, you know what I mean? Our brand has become big enough.
Yeah.
You know, we had over 2,000 members in our community. So I'm like, we kind of did all we needed to do in Twitter, you know what I mean? And people close to me was like, y'all need to start monetizing this and trying to, you know, make some money off of this now. You know what I mean? Twitter ain't paying y'all, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
first she was like, I don't know if we could do it because I don't know if people's time is going to permit it. You know, everybody got their own thing going on. And then she was like, you know what? She always had these bigger goals where she wanted to turn sports after dark into like a sports network, like ESPN and all of that. And she said, you know what? It's time to put the names with the faces and all the reactions people get out of the spaces. It's time for people to see that, you know, in live and color. So that's how we got into it. And what I think June will make a year, or would June make 2 years? June will make a year since we've started the Sports After Dark YouTube channel. So, like I said again, God is good, man. It's all in God's timing.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Because I ain't gonna hold you, man. I have been into a few of the spaces, and when I tell you that I don't have the mental capacity, you know, and I remember we had Ashley on last time we had her on. I was telling her about it, like, Charlotte, I don't know how y'all do that. All that yelling and all. I ain't built for it. I ain't built for it. I was like, I heard one person calling somebody another name, and I'm like, listen here. I said, let me get on up out of here. But she went on to tell us that a lot of times people off that space will connect and kind of, you know, sort it out or whatever. But I much rather watch y'all on the YouTube space where it's a little less chaos and I can hear people's voices being heard and actual opinions without a whole bunch of the derogatory, man. So definitely respect. I'm glad that y'all made that move. I agree that that's a good move for y'all. That's definitely a good move for y'all.
Yeah, because it was like we try to tell people like, listen, man, keep it sports, man. Let's not get to the point where you and I had to fault myself because sometimes I got out of character. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because some people be thinking the internet is just the internet and like you're not a person at the end of the day. So it was a few times I made a mistake and let people get me out of character and show them a side of me that I didn't want them to see. So it was like I had to be better in that and understand that it's sports at the end of the day. I get we all love sports and emotion, but we got to respect each other. Even if you don't like the person's opinion, you still got to respect them as a person at the end of the day. So when it started to get too crazy, we'd be like, oh, all right, let's reel it back in. You know, it's cool to go back and forth, but we don't need to come at each other's character and their personal life, you know.
Right, right, I definitely, I definitely check out when it get that far, cause I don't want that towards me. And sometimes, and I remember one that I said, y'all had to be talking about Joker one night, and I was like, ooh, I want to get in here so bad, but if somebody say something to me, I'ma air them the fuck out, and it's just going to be that, and, you know what I'm saying? And I respect, and I obviously don't know any of y'all super well, but we've had C-Lou on, we've had Ashley on, and I guess you would have missed a piece. So I didn't want to be that dude like going into y'all space and acting a fool. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't want to do it. I was like, man, I just let y'all have that.
I mean, listen, man. If don't get us wrong. If a person disrespect you, then you gotta hold you for sure hold your own. Absolutely, we're gonna let you hold your own.
Yeah.
Then we'll check them too, because like you coming in our space is like you coming in our home. Y'all guests. So it's like we're not gonna let nobody disrespect y'all. We'll mute him immediately and be like, come on, dog. He coming in here to talk sports. Like, don't try to disrespect him because you don't agree with his opinion. Like that ain't cool.
Yeah, right, for sure. So, man, let's get straight to it, man. I know you a busy man. You got some things to do later on this evening, man. And we see you representing well. Yes, sir. I mean, look, man. Clearly, for a majority of the season, everybody had San Fran going. You know, I'll be the first to admit I had Philly earlier on, but once Christian McCaffrey got going a little bit, you know, it just is what it is. And so y'all there against Kansas City. But before we get into the Super Bowl, talk about San Fran, the season y'all have had, and kind of how you sum it up so far.
I'm gonna be honest with you, not to sound cocky. Like we expected us to be here because the team.
You can say it. You can say it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you know, this team has been together. Like we went 13-4 last year and lost an NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So it's either Super Bowl or bust with this team we got, because you know every year in the NFL you don't keep the same team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was like you got to get here and you got to win it all. You know what I mean? Kyle, he needs this. So to start out the year the way we did, you know, a lot of people had Philly and other teams, and I'm like, I mean, we did go 13-4 with 3 different quarterbacks, so this team is really good. But it was all how we needed to start the year. I felt as though if we started the year fast, it would give us a chance at the 1 seed. You know, a lot of people was like, oh, you know, y'all start off slow and all of that, and I'm like, well, if you go back to 2019, we started off 6-0, so I know this team is possible of doing that. But I also know our team comes with roller coasters, so we started off 5-0 as I expected. And then I'm like, all right, that roller coaster going to come soon. And then here we go. We lose 3 in a row. Then I'm like, all right, we got to turn it back on. We turn it back on, and we go win 6 in a row. And then I'm like, this Ravens game. Everybody like, you like y'all to win? I said, I don't know, dog. We struggle with mobile quarterbacks. They always give us an issue. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar Jackson beat us at home and we lose to them at home. But then we was able to clinch the 1 seed. Once we clinched the 1 seed, I said, all right, we're going to go to the Super Bowl. But I ain't going to lie to y'all. These 2 playoff games had my blood pressure real high. Looking at
that Detroit game for damn sure.
That Detroit game, man, I'm like, I'm with all my family. We down 24-7 at halftime. They like, oh, they going to upset y'all. I said, man, we ain't come this far to lose, man. Like, we ain't come this far to lose. All I kept thinking was, there's another half of football. We only down 17 points. If we could come out in this third quarter and get right to it, we got a chance to get back in the game. And before we knew it, was 24 up. By the time we tied the game up, I said, all right, we're going to win this one. But, you know, so I'm happy that we're in the Super Bowl, but we need this one. I'm tired of us losing in the Super Bowl. 2012 and 2019 still has a scar on my heart. So we got to win this one.
Not to spoil your fun or anything like that, but I watched those 2 playoff games, the first one against Green Bay and then Detroit. Boy, the run defense, you know, I'm thinking, okay, Green Bay, up-and-coming team, they just the moment got too big, they ended up, you know, costing themselves the game, and I'm thinking, okay, 49ers going to get themselves right with the run game, they'll be good, and then here come Detroit with Montgomery and Gibbs, and, you know, they do the same thing and more. And so now you're going up against the Chiefs, and they got this cat, Isaiah Pacheco, who's a nasty runner. You know, when they get down to it, the dude runs like he's angry about to punch dudes in the face. Like, how y'all going to deal with that?
We got to be better. Like you said, the Green Bay game, I didn't expect for Aaron Jones to run crazy on us, and then I said, all right, we're gonna get it together. We're not gonna let Detroit do the same, and then we come out against Detroit and we come out the same way. Um, that's surprising to us. I'm used to our defense really making teams one-dimensional, but I always said that's the best way to beat us is keep us on our heels. You got to be able to run the ball on us. If you're able to run the ball on us,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna be in a dogfight. So we gotta we gotta give better effort in that Lions and Packers game. They were terrible effort, man. It wasn't 11 flying to the ball. Like Kyle Shanahan said it in one of the interviews a few days ago. He said you can't have that mindset that all right, if I don't get to him, somebody else gonna make the tackle. No, you gotta finish the play out and make sure you make a play. Don't assume that the person in front of you is gonna make the tackle, because then what if he don't? You'll see what Jameer Gibbs did and he went to the house and scored, or that's reversed that Jameson Williamson scored. I mean, Williams scored on. So it's just a mentality that everybody got to fly to the ball, and the missed tackles has been an issue. Honestly, the missed tackles been an issue during the season too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like we got to clean those two things up. And I feel like John Lynch said it better. He said he would be shocked if we wasn't on our game, and you got to be. It's the Super Bowl. You can't play no less than that.
Yeah.
Man. You got to leave it all out there. So I'm confident that we'll get it together, because if we don't, Pacheco, he gonna be running all over us, and he reminds me of Marshawn Lynch. They not the same player, but his run style, it reminds me of beast mode. So
I can see it. I can see that. Just in his demeanor.
Yeah.
How far are you concerned with? So I like to say, and I think you would say the same thing, that y'all were a bad Jimmy Garoppolo pass away from beating the Chiefs in 2019.
Absolutely.
How concerned are you that Brock Purdy is going to come into that same situation and not make the throw?
See, I will say I'm more confident in Brock.
Okay.
Because I think Brock doesn't let the moment's not too big for him, and he gave us a glimpse of that during the season. The Cleveland Browns game, he didn't have a good game against Cleveland, but he put us in a position to win that game against a really good defense, and our kicker missed the field goal.
Right.
So that let me know, like, all right, Brock, if we get into that situation again, I feel comfortable with you being able to handle that situation. If you look at the Packers game, Debo was hurt. So Brock had to play with everybody else, and when we needed a drive to win the game, Brock put a drive together to win the game. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like the moment's not too big with him. With Jimmy Garoppolo, I was on the edge of my bed, because you knew, like, oh my God, I cringed every time he threw a pass, because you didn't know if he was, like you said, he was going to overthrow somebody or he was going to throw an interception.
Yeah.
So it's like Brock's giving me more confidence that he can get the job done if he's put in that situation.
So my guy. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Is he a game manager?
See, there's nothing wrong with being a game manager.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Like, it's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Some of the greatest, if we're going to say it, the GOAT was a game.
Is a game manager.
He's a game manager.
100%.
Yeah, he was a game manager.
Like, he was a game manager, but he just was better at it than a lot of other people.
Yeah.
He knew how to not put the ball in harm's way, and he knew if he had to put a drive together to win the game, he knew how to do that. It's okay if you're not a Lamar Jackson or a Josh Allen or a Mahomes, it's okay.
Yeah.
You can still get the job done being who you are and win Super Bowls. Everybody wasn't them. So
I agree. I agree 100%.
It's okay to be a game manager. It's okay in my opinion.
I got one more question. I'll let you go, Trey.
Go ahead.
Where does he rank on your team? Is he number 10? I got to count him because I thought he was being a little crazy. I thought my man was being a little crazy. I thought he was being a little crazy. But I'm sitting at my day job talking to my peoples, and I'm like, now I'm not gonna give him 10.
He's not 10.
I gave him like, but I did give him like 7 or 8.
Yeah, I mean, if you include in the defense, he's like 7 or 8. If it's just the offensive side of the ball, I would say he's probably like 5, 4 or 5.
I was gonna say 5. If it's just
he's like
offense.
5. If you're just the offense, but if you're including the defense, yes, he's like 7, 8. You know, I mean, it's not his fault here around like 7 All-Pro players.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know.
Right.
What are you gonna do? Like, I just feel like Cam, man.
Being a little spicy. Yeah, man. He's a little spicy. He's been.
And I'm a huge fan of Cam. Always been a huge fan of Cam Newton. So it's like I don't knock his opinion.
Yeah, I just think and look, again, when you got a team that's stacked like that, it is not crazy for your quarterback who, whether you like it or love it, is a game manager who plays his offense well. Like, it's not terrible to say that it's 10 other guys. Like, hell, I would imagine you would want that many skilled players around you.
That's what I'm saying.
And quite frankly,
make it easy on you.
And quite frankly, look at the guy's salary. Brock, I'm talking about. His salary compared to the other guys that are on the defense, the offensive weapons for the 49ers. When you build a team like that and you've got big money in a Deebo Samuel, a Fred Warner, a Nick Bosa, then yeah. I mean, of course you're going to be, if you're the quarterback that's making only $800,000, you're probably going to be in that 6 to 10 range as far as who the best player is on the team. So,
Yeah, it just makes sense. If you got a quarterback that's under a rookie contract and you got to put all the talent around him, I don't see why you don't. That's the biggest window to do it.
Right, that's the perfect window.
Yep.
That's the perfect window to do it. He's the cheapest person on the team. I mean, you're eventually going to have to pay him, especially if Brock wins the Super Bowl. We're eventually going to have to pay him. But this is expand your window to put all this talent around him to win one. You know what I mean? So I mean, but we got to win one because I can see we're gonna be making some changes next year. So got to get it done now.
So my guy Sean Sims, shout out to my homie there in Facebook live chat. So he seems to be a 49ers hater and says that you guys shouldn't be in the Super Bowl in the first place. And I think I know where he's getting to. He's getting to the 2 games in the playoffs. He's talking about some of the fluky plays, which I want to ask you about, by the way. The throw in the Detroit game that Ayuk got after it bounced off of the Detroit defender. It's luck, but I've always said you need luck in these playoffs to kind of get to where you got to go. Your thoughts on that play? Because that was a crazy play when really you guys needed that play to happen.
I mean, it was a hell of a play. It could have been a pick, but the defensive back didn't do his job. I mean, it's not Brock's fault. I mean, Brock definitely threw a bad pass, and the D-back didn't do his job, and Ayuk made the best of it. And it was a play we needed at that point of the game, and actually it changed the whole landscape of the game once he caught that pass because we scored after that, and then I think the next drive we made Jahmyr Gibbs fumble, and we went down and scored again. At the same token, I don't want to say we shouldn't be there. It's not our fault that Dan Campbell decided to go for it twice on 4th down when he should have kicked the field goal.
Yep.
Yeah.
But shout out to Ashley Baker. She said that the way Dan Campbell coaches is going to eventually hurt him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Always going for 4th down and not taking the points. But keeping in mind, he did it against the Cowboys earlier in the season where he went 4 for 2, and even though the penalty was bogus, he should have kicked the field goal right there to take it into overtime.
Yeah.
They gave you another chance to kick the field goal. You still went for it. They gave you another chance again to kick the field goal, and you went for 2 again. So it's like it's like the Warriors. You live by the 3, die by the 3, and he live and die by 4th down, and it cost him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you gotta respect somebody that like to gamble like that, but sometimes, like Trey says, you gotta know when to get off the table.
Yep.
You gotta know when to get up off the table, brother.
That's for sure.
That's what I said. Sure. I said Dan Campbell is the guy at the casino at the roulette table that bets red 5 straight times, and it hits black, and he keep wanting to bet red, and he loses all his money, and he never leaves the table. That's Dan Campbell right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Gotta know when to get up, man.
Yeah. A Barbershop Sports Talk podcast long debate, or at least season-long debate that we've been having that we need you to answer for us, Heavy. Who is more important to your offense, Deebo Samuels or Trent Williams?
I'm honestly have to say Trent Williams. I'm going to have to go with Trent Williams.
Thank you.
If you look at our run game, when he's not there, look at our numbers running to the left side of the field without Trent Williams. We go from averaging 5 yards per carry to about 3 yards per carry when Trent Williams isn't on the field. And it's more difficult for us to pass the ball without him on the field. Don't get me wrong, Deebo is a huge part of our offense. But as you can see, we just won a playoff game. Deebo got hurt. And we were still able to win a playoff game because we had Trent Williams. We still was able to run the ball. We still was able to throw the ball. So I think Trent Williams is definitely, if I had to pick 2, Trent Williams is definitely more valuable.
Yeah, we
Okay.
we got to arguing a little bit about it,
Okay.
and I knew I was right, and I knew
Okay.
I was right, but it
Okay.
was cool. I got
Yeah.
another. I got another debate. Better wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk or Debo Samuel.
Oh, Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk is the
I
better
don't be.
receiver.
I don't be making.
Now, Maestro, who had that debate with you?
It was you. You was trying to tell me.
Wait,
that
Debo was better than Ayuk?
was a
I
better
don't.
wide receiver.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that
I-
convo.
I don't forget I ever said it. Then don't even worry about it.
I don't. No, honestly,
I
I don't remember that.
I'm saying okay. I'm
Combo.
saying okay. I cool. Don't forget. I forget
Okay.
I ever said it. Just don't ever say it again.
Well, look. I mean, I'll say this. When Debo did go out in the Packer game, that offense looked real different. And I said at the time, I said, okay, we gonna find out, because those 3 games that he missed, those were the same 3 games that Trent missed. So at that time, it was really hard to tell who was more important. So when Debo went out the game, I was like, all right, now we about to really find out who's more important. And like you said, they came out. He won the game. Trent was still in there, and so I got to give it to the homie Trent, man.
Yeah, but that's what I was trying to tell you, man. Trent is a all Hall of Fame offensive lineman at 35, 36 years old, still playing.
He
top
was always
five
that.
left
Yep.
tackle, and playing top 5 left tackle in the league.
He was always
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
It's amazing what he doing at his age, man.
I'm watching them consist. I forget what game I was watching this year, and they just keep running left. We ain't even gonna run right. Just keep running it left, and they just. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Make sure I be trying to tell him all the time, dog. Like because Kyle, I'm very critical of Kyle, and sometimes Kyle like to get cute, and I just be like, Kyle, if you don't put Kyle Juszczyk an all-pro fullback in the backfield and run behind Trent Williams, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
until they show they can stop it, you better keep running to the left side of the field, dog.
And I promise you, any running back on your roster, you can do that same thing. And still, you put Elijah Mitchell in, and I don't even know who's behind him. Whoever you want to put on that roster and that setup, you're probably going to see success. That's how good Trent Williams is. That's how good Juszczyk is.
Yeah.
You spoke about Kyle Shanahan, and I want to know your opinion on this. So we had shout out my man Ross. So we had him on earlier in the season, and he was of the ilk of this is Super Bowl or bust, obviously. But if they do not, if y'all don't win the Super Bowl, he's ready to fire Kyle Shanahan.
No, man, no. This is what killed me with our fan base.
I love it.
If you fire Kyle Shanahan, who the hell you gonna go get?
That's what I said, but he convinced me. I ain't gonna lie. He said with my man, and I'm paraphrasing. Rod, if you see this and I'm wrong, correct me. I love to be corrected sometimes. He was saying that Kyle Shanahan has wasted so much time by not getting a real one of them quarterbacks per se. Garoppolo, Lord, don't get me to
C.J. Beathard, Nick Mullins,
like all these.
Yeah.
He had all these scrub. Basically, he had all these scrub quarterbacks, and was like, "You're going to be able to succeed because you're in my system." And because you're in my system, and I got this great defense around you, it don't matter who play quarterback. If you just don't make too many mistakes, we should be successful. And at this point, with this good of a roster, we can't keep playing like that. We need somebody that's actually good enough to win the game. Now, obviously, this was before Brock Purdy kind of had the season he had this season. But he is of the and maybe by this time, I haven't spoken to him since y'all got to the Super Bowl. But he was like flat out, fire him. If he don't win a Super Bowl, I'm off him, and he need to be fired. And I'm not going to be I'm gonna be I guess a quiet 49ers fan until he's fired.
I'll say it like this, man. Now the year we could have got Tom Brady after we lost the Super Bowl, I think Kyle should have went after him that year.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We were that close.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he wanted to. Kyle has an ego to him too as a coach.
Facts.
Yep.
He
Facts.
does.
Yep.
And I be trying to tell people that he coaches that way sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So he should have let Jimmy go. When Jimmy missed that throw, y'all, I
Yeah.
knew right then and there we couldn't win the Super Bowl with him.
Yeah.
But Kyle felt like, oh, we got to the Super Bowl with Jimmy. We can run it back with him. And then Jimmy had to show him, like, nah, bro, I'm really not that dude.
Yeah.
And we missed our wave on Tom Brady, and Brady went to the Bucks and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. The Rams game in the NFC Championship game, where that was a close game and he couldn't get it done in that point. Yeah.
Couldn't get it done. And it's like, we lost to them by a field goal, but if we would have had a better quarterback, we would have won that game. So it's just like, I will give Kyle some credit, though, in a sense, because he did try to go after Aaron Rodgers, but Green Bay said no. We tried to go after Deshaun Watson, but then Deshaun Watson had that whole little situation going on.
Did he go after Kirk? Did he go after Kirk?
He did go after Kirk, but then Minnesota wasn't with it. So it just was like Kyle did try to go after a quarterback, but then, we went up after Trey Lance, and I was like, all right, cool, let's see what Trey Lance got. Trey Lance didn't pan out, and come to find out, Kyle said Brock was the best quarterback on our roster the whole time. So here we are now. Now, I'm not going to say if we lose, fire Kyle Shanahan, because, like, come on, man. He built this team from the ground up from 2017. This team was bad in 2017. He inherited.
Yeah.
He went through free agency, went through the draft, and built this team together. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you get rid of a good head coach because he hasn't won a Super Bowl? Now, I get you upset that we haven't won one, but who you going to replace him with? What head coach you going to go out there and get? To replace him with.
I understood him. I was on his side.
He convinced me. He was so passionate. I was like, you know what? I'm with you.
I was on his side. I was on his side.
I was on his side because I wasn't on his side at first. I was saying the same shit you were saying. I was saying, like, matter of fact, he was in our chat the week before he was on the show, and I'm like, nah, bro, you tripping? Like, you realize how good y'all are right now? Like, that would be crazy to fire him. Like, ain't no coach gonna come in here and do that. But he came on the show that next week and was like, nah, Maestro, woo, 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 this, that, and the third. I was like, fuck, you say, you a 49er fan. I gotta believe you more than I believe myself sometimes.
You want the chip.
And I was like, you know what, man? You know what? Fuck it. I'm riding with you. And
we got some people in our fan base that feel that way. If he doesn't win, fire him. But I'm like, who we gonna replace him with?
Yeah.
We gonna fire him and pick up who? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you kind of would have to change your whole offensive scheme. So I understand it from that standpoint. I do get it.
And the players love Kyle. They love him. You know what I mean? That connection with your players, it matters. It matters. It matters a whole lot. And the organization love him. Jay York, our owner, he loves Kyle. He said, regardless of what happened with Kyle, he loves Kyle. So that lets you know, like, Kyle ain't going nowhere. And I'm fine with that. If I got a chance to compete in the NFC Championship or Super Bowl damn near every year, I am absolutely fine with that.
Yep.
I'd rather have a chance at that than be talking about who we drafted next year.
Yeah, hey, Young Hev, how did you feel about the whole Trey Lance situation?
All right, so to be honest with y'all, I was high on Trey Lance when we took him. Unfortunately, he got hurt the year we was gonna give him a chance because I was over Jimmy Garoppolo, but I was high on the potential what Trey Lance could do in a Kyle Shanahan type of offense, the strong arm, how mobile he is. I'm like, damn, he could use him how he used RG3. Like that's what I was thinking with Trey Lance.
Yeah,
but then I felt like. Part of me felt like, damn, Trey ain't get the opportunity to really show what he can do. But in the back of my mind, I had to think about it like, he kind of did. Because you got to look at Brock. One thing that you get taught in life, when you get an opportunity, you got to take the most of it and make the best of it. Brock Purdy wasn't getting all of the reps last year. Trey and Jimmy was.
Right.
But that little window that Brock got was against the Miami Dolphins. And then Brock took his advantage and he ran with it.
Yeah.
He made the best of his opportunity. When Trey got his opportunities, he didn't make the best of them. And I saw it. In that preseason game this year against the Raiders, Trey was looking all timid and all of that. Kyle traded him the next week, and I said, I mean, I'm kind of mad, but at the same token, I'm like, Trey, you had an opportunity to show Kyle what you had, and you ain't come through, bro.
Well, let's be clear. I told Trey, once they said Brock Purdy is going to be fine for training camp, Trey Lance is gone. He did enough. I'm sorry. That last year, like, look, y'all could have possibly been in the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
I said one. I think it's going to be way easier. I mean, maybe not now if y'all win a Super Bowl, but it's going to be way easier it would have been way easier to pay a 7th round draft pick than a 1st round draft pick. It's just too many, and he's already proven that he can play in this offense at a high level.
Yeah,
They was
I agree with you.
they was putting him in there. He was statistically up there with the big niggas.
Yeah,
So it's like, yeah, so nah, a seventh round that's playing with the big niggas in your offense. Yeah, Trey Lance gone. Like I'm mad it didn't get rid of him sooner and maybe got a higher, better compensation.
yeah, that is true. So, and I get you, and that really makes sense. It was like Brock earned his chance to be our quarterback. I said, he took us to the NFC Championship game. So, like, I get it. It just was like, in the beginning of the year, I had a video where I was snapping on Kyle. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
you gave up all these picks to get Trey Lance. You could have got Micah Parsons with that pick. You could have got Penei Sewell with that pick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You could have got Patrick Surtain with that pick, a player I wanted.
Right.
You took it for a quarterback that you ended up trading. But now I can't be mad at Kyle because you were right. That quarterback, the third quarterback on the team, got us in the Super Bowl.
And that's what Trey was telling me. But I'm like, bruh, you're not gonna sit here. I get it. Y'all gave up a lot, and it was wrong. It didn't work out for you.
But
you're not about to sit here.
But it's more of a reason why I think our homie Rod is like, yo, he need to win or he got to go.
Nah, but I feel like at this stage, Brock Purdy in his second year has done enough for y'all to say, even if they don't win, I got something I can build on. Like, let's be clear. We was talking about Brock Purdy for MVP this year.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. That was the conversation.
Right.
So, so we can't sit here and act like I get it. Cut your losses while knowing when to get up off the damn table. This Trey Lance experience is over. Let's not affect Brock Purdy's confidence.
If it wasn't experience.
Let's not affect his morale. Let's let him know that you are our guy, and go on and get that other young dude out of here. They even went on to say shit like Sam Darnold was a better quarterback than Trey Lance. Like, come on,
I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
looking back on it, I feel they was doing that to stroke Brock Purdy ego.
Yeah.
And that team is cocky too. San Francisco's cocky because they sent him to the team that they knocked out the playoffs 2 straight years in a row and was like, we'll just give him to the Cowboys.
Well, let's be clear. I said that too.
What?
Any type of an injury, Trey Lance wasn't seeing that field this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
They was going to put Darnold in. They wasn't going to put Trey. They would have put Darnold in.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, I mean, but even in Dallas, that get injured. Yeah. Trey's not going in.
Yeah, Cooper Rush would have went in. They wouldn't have put Trey in.
Well, sure.
So it really, it was really like, hey man, what y'all got for this? Because I'm just trying to get him off my books.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to get him off my books.
And it was a smarter move because Brock is the cheaper route than Trey was, so it was definitely the smarter move for sure.
Yeah. And here y'all are in the Super Bowl, so
so here we are, man. I need to get projection. How you see the Super Bowl going? And if you are an into predictions person this early in the week, give us the score prediction.
I like the 49ers 30-20.
30-20.
I think the Chiefs haven't given up 30 points all year. I think we break that mode of them not giving up 30 points all year. I think we change that because if we playing at the top of our game offensively, can't nobody stop us offensively. I don't care who you are. So I think if we're clicking offensively, we'll put up 30 on them, and I think we'll win 30-20. I think the way to beat the Chiefs is we got to make them score points. We can't make Mahomes feel like he can just manage the game because his defense is holding it down.
Right.
We got to force their offense to score, and I think if we get put in that position, we'll win the game.
I like it.
Trey, score prediction. How you see the game going?
Score prediction. So I think the Chiefs are gonna win. Sadly, and
is it sad? You ain't gotta say sad because you got a 49ers fan.
I ain't mad at nobody. It's hard to bet against Mahomes, so I ain't knocking nobody for picking Mahomes.
Look. I thought my team was supposed to beat them last week. You know what I'm saying? I thought.
You a Ravens fan?
Yes, I thought.
I knew y'all wasn't gonna beat them, bro. Sorry to tell you.
We knew? Nah.
No,
I did. I told my sports at the Dark Crew early in the week. I said, Kansas City gonna go up in there and beat them. They not going.
Why'd you feel that way? I'm interested.
Yeah.
Because Mahomes been there before. Like the AFC Championship game is a regular season game to him. The more pressure was on Baltimore. They was at home. They was basically the best team in the league. When Lamar Jackson about to be the 2-time
Yep.
MVP, all the pressure was on them.
All
It was
points.
a regular game
Agree.
for Mahomes and them.
Agree with all
So,
points.
yeah.
Man.
Agree with all points.
Man. I did pick the Ravens to win, and I'm a Steelers fan, so I did pick the Ravens to win. But I'm so glad. I'm so glad that they were not ready for the moment. I got yelled at. He yelled at me on somebody else's show. Talking about I said, well, look, man, Todd Monken is not experienced enough to do this,
Yeah,
and he got mad at me. Well, college, Georgia college. I said, bro, this ain't the college. This ain't college football. This is not college. This is NFL.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something.
I definitely need to come back on the show. I didn't know this was a Steelers and a Ravens fan. I definitely need to come back on the show during the season.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You family. You family at this point.
Absolutely.
I need to see that energy for sure.
But Hev, question for you, and I know I got to get you out of here.
Yeah.
Game plan. When you're an offensive coordinator and you have to make a game plan for a particular team in a championship game, Todd Monken has done that before. That was my thing. Todd Monken was on a team in Georgia that won back-to-back national championships. Right. He had to have put a game plan together to win those championships. So
that is true.
So it's like, okay, if he's done game plans before, what is the problem with him doing a game plan in the National Football League in the AFC Championship game?
It's the National Football League and the
I'll
AFC
keep trying to explain to him.
Different.
You got to go deeper than you got to go in detail with that.
What Heavy? I'm sorry. What I tried to explain to him is that the fact that he put that game plan in play in that moment says everything that I need to see about the term of him having a lack of experience in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Why would you overthink it?
For sure.
You have the best athlete at quarterback. Thrower, maybe Patrick Mahomes is a better thrower. If you put running, throwing the ball, Lamar Jackson is him.
For sure.
Yeah.
Why not put it in his hands and make him run the ball when he want to run it and throw it when he want to throw it? They trying to turn it, and this ain't a Lamar thing, but it is a Lamar thing. Todd Monken should have said, "Hey, look, halftime. Let's say just halftime. Hey, man, this throwing shit ain't working.
Run the ball.
Hey, Lamar.
Yeah.
Lamar.
He did it the previous week. He did it the previous week.
Right, but he did not do it when it mattered.
The most.
Yeah, I get it.
You're saying that doesn't. You keep trying to say that doesn't speak to experience. I'm saying that absolutely speaks to experience. I'm saying that absolutely speaks to experience. And that's where we disconnected.
Yeah, because y'all defense held them down. Y'all defense kept Kansas City's offense off the field for
in the second half.
Monken kept trying to make Lamar throw the ball when he, what Maestro said, he should have put Lamar in a position where he could use his legs more and make a decision if he wanted to throw the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You should have put it in the hands of Lamar Jackson and said, "Win us the game," and he didn't do that because he wasn't experienced enough to say, "This is what I got on my team." So everything I tried to do in the first half didn't work. My adjustment should have been.
Now I'll say this in response to that.
What?
Don't
make us do this. I don't want to rehash it. Don't rehash it.
Hey, Young Hev. I gotta get you out of here. I gotta get you out of here, man. Top five 49ers players all time. Your list, man. In no particular order.
No particular order.
Order. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. Terrell Owens. Oh,
wow.
Yeah, that's my favorite player of all time on the 49ers. It's
respect.
Terrell Owens.
I like
With
that.
all due respect, how old are you?
I'm 37. So I'm a part of the Steve Young era. So
I'm 40. So yeah. We were same. We all
So I'll say Terrell Owens, Jerry Rice, Deion Sanders, Patrick Willis.
Okay, I like Patrick Willis.
I'm gonna put Fred Warner. I'll put Fred Warner at 5.
That's interesting.
That's an interesting.
But I like that.
There's so many other people I could have put in there, but
yeah.
I like that. No, I like your list because you said you're 37 years old, so obviously you're kind of coming in on the tail end of the Montana era.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're talking about the 49ers that you've seen coming up in your lifetime. So I could appreciate that, Liz.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and we got a thing on the show where we kind of hate when people do a whole lot of, oh, Bill Russell was the greatest. Nigga, you ain't seen
Yeah,
Bill
you ain't
Russell,
watch.
man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I never been that dude. Like, if I
Yeah,
never
right.
seen you play, I'm not gonna speak on that. I respect your
Yeah.
accolades, but I'm gonna go off the players I've seen.
Right,
Like when they
right.
say Bill Russell, I will never say it. I'll say no. To me, Shaq is the most dominant center I've seen
Facts.
of all
Facts.
time because I've watched him
Facts.
dominate people. Like,
Right.
don't get out of here
Right.
with that Bill Russell 11 rings bullshit. I
Yeah,
don't wanna hear that.
yeah. We don't jack that over here. That's a fact. That's a fact. Hey man, we appreciate you. We appreciate you, player. You know what I'm saying? We know you're doing your thing, busy man. Last thing before you go, plug anything you want to plug. Let us know where they can find, where the listeners can find you.
On Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, I'm at Young Heavy 24. You also know I do Sports After Dark After Hours. That's our YouTube channel. You can find us on Twitter as well as Sports A Dark _ where we do our spaces and everything at. And I have my own YouTube channel which is called Let's Talk Heavy, where I talk 49ers, I talk Lakers, and I try to mix real life and sports into it. So I try to veer away from talking sports everything and try to talk the relationship side with sports and many other things. So that's a lot.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. I ain't know about that. So cool. I'm gonna tap in with that for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I definitely got to come back on here, man. I enjoy how y'all talk sports. This is my lane right here. This is what I grew up on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like
yes,
yeah,
sir.
I'm cool. Yeah, I'm cool with. Hey, man. Hey, I'm gonna tell you when you're wrong. We gonna all be respectful. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
You know?
absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why that's my man. That's been my man for well over 20 years.
I was about to say, you could tell y'all been tight with each other because I've been the same way how y'all are. I'm with my folks like that 20 years plus, going at it all day talking sports. So like that's why this feel like home for me. I would definitely enjoy to come back on.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that's what it is, because that's how we started, man. I was like, bro, I don't see you enough no more. You know, he married. I'm out here
tricking.
You know,
nah.
I'm out here sinning. Yeah, I'm out here sinning. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here sinning. You know what I'm saying? So I can't involve him as much as you know we used to back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good opportunity for us to link up in the week, talk a little sports, then make sure everybody good on both sides, man. So that's what's up. So yeah, man, we appreciate you, man. We'll see you in these internet streets.
Yeah, man.
And and I'm gonna make sure I shoot you that follow too, so we can stay connected.
Yeah,
man.
definitely. I'll connect with y'all, man. Definitely. I definitely want to get back on here during basketball season because I'm sure y'all gonna talk.
For sure.
Basketball.
Yes.
I'm getting ready. As soon as the Super Bowl is over, I'm gonna
we
back
transition
in.
right into the NBA. Yeah.
I mean, my team ain't much to talk about, but
Mine ain't either. They getting on my nerves right now. But
well, I heard you say Lakers. My team is the Wizards. So.
Oh man.
Yeah. So it's a whole bunch of Babylon and purgatory going on my side.
I can't wait to talk NBA. So
it'll be fun to come back on here for sure.
Definitely.
Absolutely. My God, man.
Young Hev, appreciate you, man.
Sir.
Appreciate y'all. Much love to y'all, brothers.
Safe.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Be safe.
All right, brothers.
All right. It's the homie Young Hev right there, Sports After Dark. With him, Chris Lewis, Ashley Baker. Check them out on YouTube. Also on the Twitter Spaces and all that good stuff, man. They good peoples. Good people for certain, man.
Good dude, man. I mean, I be seeing every now and I guess when he and Ashley got engaged.
Yeah.
Because we follow the kind of same sports timeline in some respects.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, all his videos, him dancing and all that, at weddings and all that shit started popping up. So it was good to, kind of match the videos with the face and the personality, man. Shout out to Young Hev.
Yeah. No doubt.
I don't know how much more you got, man, but AB out here wilding.
Well, I got plenty. Not plenty that's gonna take us another hour, but I do got some stuff. But what's going on with AB, man?
So, I'm out here sinning and shit. So while a lot of your Twitter is obviously a lot of sports and New York based stuff.
Yep.
My timeline is a lot of sports, music based stuff, and bitches and porno, bitches showing porno on Twitter, right?
With Titty Tuesday.
So Titty Tuesday, Sophie Rain. Like a whole bunch of sin to say to this. So there's this thing. I wasn't aware of this, but I got very aware of it once AB did this.
Mm-hmm.
There's this thing on Twitter called engagement farming. Are you familiar with the term?
No.
Okay, so essentially, engagement farming is. I'm sure you've seen this post before.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see me naked, send me a DM.
I've seen that. I've seen that come across.
You ever seen this girl before? Her nude got leaked, or you know what I'm saying,
right.
You know what I'm saying. So when you go into the or here's the famous one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, send me a picture of your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody randomly be like, send me a picture of your ass. I don't know who these people are.
Right.
So when you go into the comments, this is similar to Titty Tuesday. So when you go into the comments, it's just a list of ass, titties, porn, etc. All types of, just freaky shit.
Right.
So AB posted that, put a post up the other day saying, yeah, y'all, show me y'all ass. So the first two to maybe 10 tweets was like, oh shit, AB must be doing bad. He's trying to get people to engage on his page. Like people like legit like clowning the nigga. Like so I'm wondering, I'm wondering how's my man doing, man? Like do you think he hurting for money? Like I don't want to be too crazy on the pocket watch, but
I don't know.
I know you can monetize. I would assume. Let me say. I would assume.
Yeah.
I would assume that there's a way to monetize engagement farming. Like if you get a lot of people on your time, on your comments, I would assume there's a way to monetize that with the I forget the name of that thing on there on Twitter. But why is he doing this, man? I don't think he wanted to see ass.
I think he's doing it. I think he's doing it because he's Antonio Brown. I mean, there's been a lot of things that he's done that you're kind of like, okay, what are you doing? Yet I'm not surprised that you're doing it. Like he's leaked, and maybe it wasn't him that was leaking this stuff, but maybe about a year or so ago, he leaked the video of him.
Yeah, there's no need to go back there.
Piping his girl. He was piping his girl. Yeah, some white girl, right? And then the thing in the pool. I don't want to.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I don't want to. I don't want to get into all that. But
no homo.
But he been out there like that, right? So with this thing you're telling me about, number one, I'm not surprised. Number two, when it comes to the money part of it, I don't know if he's broke or not, or he's in need of money, but that is a way to get I guess money. Monetize, I guess. So,
but you would think that somebody, and maybe I'm, if maybe I'm overstepping my boundaries, and if he hear this and don't like it, that was not my intent. You would think he's a little above engagement farming. He's fucking Antonio Brown, soon to be Hall of Fame wide receiver.
What happened with the record deal?
He never had a record deal. He just was rapping. He has the money to rap. He don't have to sign a record deal. Yeah,
I don't know why I thought Kanye signed him or something. I don't know.
No. His engagement. Damn. You just reminded me that you don't hear about him and Kanye no more. But he was working at Kanye's school. That's what he was doing.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. Right. I just realized you don't hear them talking about
you haven't seen them.
I don't know there's anything
together a lot lately.
I'm just saying you don't see it. At one point it was.
It was frequent rampant, for a while, and now it's been apart.
Kind of died down, right?
Yeah.
Hey man, I'll say this: if that was your intention, and I don't know your financial situation, and regardless of how wild you are, or been, or what people say about you, AB, you are a Hall of Fame wide receiver, and I think you could find more. I think you could find more efficient ways if that's what you were trying to do. Hear me and hear me good. There's way more. You don't have to. You Antonio Brown don't have to play this engagement farming game. And here's another question. Mm-hmm. At one point, he was a quote unquote regular on Cam podcast. What happened with that?
Yeah. Because I was saying when, I guess after the first episode he was on there were comments saying, yo, hey, Cam, Mace, y'all, this is a bad idea. AB gonna ruin y'all. You know, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but people were saying that him being on there weekly was going to be a bad idea. And I was defending Cam and Mason, saying this is actually the lane that Antonio Brown should be on, because ain't no other major network going to give AB the time of day to talk football. So this is it right here. I don't know what happened to that.
I love what they're doing. I don't watch I don't watch that pod as much nowadays. But to bring Maurice Claret, to bring OJ, like
Mark Jackson,
Mark Jackson, right? Especially when they came to Mark Jackson before, when he was at ESPN, and Mark Jackson straight up told him that y'all can't afford me. So with all that, for him to for that to kind of come full circle, that's fire.
Cam came with the bag.
Yeah, I don't know what the money situation is, but obviously Mark Jackson had room to do.
I think Cam had the bag for real.
I don't know. No, he was available, and I'm glad they worked that out. I'm glad they worked that out.
Yeah,
rappers and sports people need to talk more often.
Way more often. I liked it, but I do like it when the rappers come on too. Like I saw the episode with Nelly and Jermaine Dupri and stuff like that, and I liked how Nelly was talking about how the St. Louis Rams got screwed over a Super Bowl against the Patriots and stuff, and they were, having some fun over that. It make you forget the Rams were in St. Louis just a few years ago before they went back to LA. So to have rappers on there talk sports, that's cool too. I would like to see more rappers on there talking sports, with Cam and Mace as well as some of the athletes that maybe won't get the pub on the big networks to maybe come on there and do a spot or two. So yeah. But like you, I haven't watched a lot of it lately.
Yeah, I mean, not because nothing's wrong. I just haven't. Time hasn't been permitted.
And it's been other content. You know what I'm saying? Like you get consumed in other content as well. So
I can't keep up with all this shit. I really am trying to become a better human being in 2024. So I've been working on that. So I don't even watch. I don't watch as much or TV for that matter. It's bad enough I didn't really watch a lot of TV before now. But there's that. Le'Veon Bell, real quick. Yeah. I forgot about this. Le'Veon Bell he is planning his return to the NFL.
He want to play for Mike Tomlin, right?
He says that he is playing for nobody else but the Steelers. And the conversation has been, amongst Steelers timelines. Would we take him back?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's a split.
I'm split. I am so torn. Because I feel like he would be. I feel like not because if you can get on the team and realize you're not going to see the field a whole lot, I'm cool. Like you are running back 3 at very best.
I agree with that.
You're at very, very best. You're running back 3, and I don't know what they plan on doing with Anthony McFarlane. You know what I'm saying? And I can't see them having more than 4 running backs. So, I would like it if he understood that his role is going to be talking to the guys, experience, leadership. Yep. Maybe you'll get us a snap or 2. But if you can't accept that role, then you can go and stay where you at. That's my thought on it.
So, how many years has he been gone? 3?
About 3. Because he played with the Ravens, right?
He was on the Ravens for what?
He played the Ravens.
A year
2 or 3
or something
games.
like that. Yeah.
I don't think it was that long. I think
I thought it was a game. I thought it was a game, and then they just let him go. But I think that was like 3 years ago. Felt like that was like 3 years ago.
Because what's very clear about Le'Veon Bell is that you're gonna have to block differently for him. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta understand that Pittsburgh really did put together a blocking scheme for him and him only. Other running backs came and it didn't work as well. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that was a lot of reason why our offensive line started being bad after he left.
Mm-hmm.
Because running backs didn't run like he ran. Nobody has that
Right.
real patience, that
Right.
patience like he did. So, so he off rip he would have to be a running back 3,
Mm-hmm.
and ain't nobody changing their style for you. So hey, you better be that Swiss Army knife prepared to do whatever you asked to do.
Okay, so there has to be a conclusion to this, and I don't mean conclusion as in the Steelers and Mike Tomlin has to respond to what Le'Veon Bell had to say about coming back. But
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying is that okay, is Le'Veon Bell gonna put the work in to try to get back on the field because we haven't seen him,
Well, he looks in
in quite a
shape. He
while.
looks. I don't know. I don't necessarily know if he's in football shape, but athlete shape. He's still in shape.
Okay, so here's what I could see happening though. I could see him getting back on the team with the potential to eventually be a position coach in Pittsburgh. End game kind of a thing.
I want him to retire as a Steeler. That's all I want.
Okay. You could
That's all I
you,
want.
you could care less about the position coach kind of a thing.
Yeah, I don't care less. I don't know that he's a. I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know that I believe that he's a good coach. That's. Not, I'm not saying don't give him a chance.
Right. I was just about to say because we don't know if any of these players that come from playing
Yeah,
to being a position coach are going to be any good, but
yeah.
at least he would get that opportunity.
It's on the rumor mill that we finally going to try to bring in Hines Ward as a wide receiver coach this year.
He's on somebody's staff.
Yeah, I can't remember quite where.
It's
But
in Miami.
I can't remember. I really can't remember.
Yeah.
I just remember hearing it and like, he don't belong there. That's all I left with.
Yeah,
He don't belong
he's
there.
he's on a staff somewhere.
But I did see
saw
on
it.
Twitter today that the Pittsburgh Steelers might be trying to bring him in as wide receiver coach this year,
well,
which is going to be amazing for George Pickens
That's
and Deontay Johnson. But
that's
George,
interesting.
yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I had a few things. Well, first off, shout out to the chat. We got
Yeah.
we got SRC podcasts in the YouTube live
What up,
chat.
what up?
We also had Wise Soul up in here.
What up?
49ers fan when Young Hev was on here. Sean Sims, got the homie Alex up in here. Chief Rocker Jersey Vern. This one comment, and I guess we were talking Shady McCoy earlier in the show, and this one comment from shout out to the folks in Buffalo, NYAP in the 716, brought up Andy Reid, and the question really is that do we think that Andy Reid had something to do with how Eric Bieniemy has been perceived as a play caller?
100%.
Yeah, I agree too.
100%.
I agree.
We
too.
don't. That's the. I have to believe that nobody believed Eric Bieniemy called plays because Andy Reid is such an amazing play caller.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. Eric Bieniemy left play calling outside of having bad receivers. Play calling was still pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? And maybe some Kansas City Chiefs could check me on that. But the games I watched, I don't recall leaving a game saying, "Ooh, this play calling was terrible." You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Andy Reid is a Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame offensive coach. You know what I'm saying? Eric Bieniemy, anybody who left with or came to the conclusion that Eric Bieniemy was just a guy on the staff doing the other offensive responsibilities, like, look, I'm sure outside of play calling, he did all the other roles of offensive coordinator just fine. I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
But it's reasonable to think that a Hall of Fame offensive mind would be calling plays and not him. And that's reasonable to believe.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or false. I'm just saying that's reasonable to believe.
Yeah. I think one thing that I think I've seen in both places with Eric Bieniemy is that he's tough on the players. You know, we heard about it in the training camp with the Commanders, and we've heard about it from Patrick Mahomes and a couple of other Chiefs players when he was there in Kansas City. I think that's the one thing that we can come away with Eric Bieniemy is that he's going to be tougher on players than I think most offensive coordinators these days.
And let me be clear. Eric Bieniemy should still be a head coach in this league.
Yeah, I agree.
Let me be very clear on that.
I agree.
Yeah, I get it. He didn't have the best play calling season in Washington, and maybe he don't call plays. He never called plays in Kansas City. Maybe that's the truth. I don't know. I know that he is on both accounts from Washington and Kansas City. He's a good dude, good with the players. Let's be clear. Mike Tomlin is not an X's and O's guy. He ain't. He ain't. But he's a Hall of Fame coach. So, if you could put him in that position, and if you could put all these other shitty offensive coordinators and give them head coaching jobs because they just been there long enough, then you can give Eric Bieniemy a shot to become a Hall of Fame coach.
Or because they're white. Or because they're white.
Yeah, if you really want to talk.
Yeah.
If you really want to talk, you can give Eric Bieniemy a head coaching job. So he deserves a head coaching job. In my mind, I would have loved him to be the head coach in Washington. Just give him a shot. But what I meant to say is that it probably worked out for him because Washington ain't got their shit together yet.
Right.
So it probably worked out for him.
You said something about Washington, and maybe it's the PR or whoever not letting the public know about Eric Bieniemy being let go. It might also say something as to why Ben Johnson may have said, "I'm going back to Detroit."
Exactly. Y'all messy as fuck.
Yeah. And
Facts.
I've been hearing Ben Johnson's been kind of taking some heat, which I kind of disagree with. I think in this case for me, I think you give Ben Johnson the benefit of the doubt over the organization that's been messy for so many years.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, Detroit got a head coach that gambles a lot, but all in all, that organization right now is in a good place.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go but up. There's nowhere to go but up right now for them. I would say, if anything, you probably raise your stock. You have another good year, and you probably raise your stock. So let him do his thing. He'll go be a coach when he's ready to be a coach.
Yep. Facts.
Yeah.
Hey, I do want to pay homage to a legend that we lost this week, Carl Weathers, who died at the age of 76 a few days ago. You know him from being in the NFL for a couple of years with the Oakland Raiders. He played in the CFL, I think, for a few more years after that. But then he became this big actor, played Apollo Creed in all the Rocky movies. Also, Action Jackson, that movie that came out in the late 80s as well. Also, I've seen him in some Law and Order type stuff, later on in his career and stuff like that. But want to spread some love to the family and the people. Condolences to the family there, and rest in peace to a legend, Carl Weathers, right there.
For sure. Salute.
Yep. Hey, some NBA notes. The deadline is Thursday, I think. The trade deadline. And I'm sure you've heard all the LeBron James talk.
Yeah.
And I don't need to really get in deep, into it, because I don't even think it's a dream, to be honest with you. It's not gonna happen, folks. All the stuff he's doing with the hourglass emoji and the Twitter and all that stuff, that's more about, hey, Lakers, I need you guys to do something. Rob Pelinka, I need you to do something about this team right now.
Yeah, right.
What are they, 9th in the West right now? Coming off of, beating the Knicks Saturday night. Great game, by the way. We're just kind of, hurting as far as injuries go right now. But they also came off of beating the Celtics without LeBron James and Anthony Davis last Thursday. Yeah. I mean, I would say that's more an indictment on the Celtics than it is on the Lakers.
I don't know. Look, I guess people got a little excited about the Lakers when they won the end season. But I'm sorry, I don't believe them. I didn't believe them. This is not a championship team. It ain't no way to slice it. I mean, maybe they'll get back into the playoffs. Not even maybe. I tend to think,
they'll get in the play-in.
Yeah, about to say I tend to think that they'll get into the playoffs in the final 8. I tend to believe that, but it's not like we looking at this team like, ooh, they gonna go and be,
Mm.
you know, Western Conference championship type shit.
Yeah.
I get they would.
So I wonder what's different from last year than this year.
I don't know. I don't know. Right? Cause I don't know. But I know when I look at them, and I haven't looked at them a lot this year.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it's early.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But now I'm sitting here thinking I don't really remember what they looked like this time last year.
Well, remember they made a trade to get your boy from DC, Hachimura. They got Hachimura. Then they got Vanderbilt, I think, from Minnesota. Who by the way is out for the year because he got hurt last week.
Get well soon.
So that's a big blow. Get well soon. And then they kind of reshuffled the roster. They got Westbrook up out of there to the Clippers, and Austin Reeves is all of a sudden becoming a playmaking guard. The way he's been, balling these days. So it's like ever since that trade, they've played better defense. Mm-hmm. They got to the Western Conference Finals.
Right.
And now it's like, what did they lose? I mean, they're coming in with the same exact team from late last season. So I'm just trying to understand. And on top of that, Anthony Davis has played in every game but 4 games this season. So,
but how has he? And how has he been though, Anthony Davis?
There's some nights where he's dominant, and then there's just some nights where, like against the Knicks, like his numbers weren't like eye popping, but his impact was there.
Is he averaging 25?
I don't know if he's averaging 25 and 12. I just know that I think his impact, you can see his impact more on the court than you do with the numbers, if that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense.
Because, going into that Knicks game Saturday, I'm thinking, okay, we're down 4 rotation pieces. They sat out the Celtic game just so they could play at the Garden Saturday night. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, okay, the Lakers present a huge presence defensively in the paint. We don't have Randall and we don't have Mitchell Robinson, so that's going to be a problem for us. So I was like, okay, most likely the Lakers are probably going to win this game. And it turned out they had to scratch and claw all the way through the fourth quarter just to, get Brunson. They double team Brunson like early in the fourth quarter just so that they can, escape with the win, really. Because we led by like 8 points going into that fourth quarter. And once they saw the double in Brunson, I think we went like 7 straight minutes without a basket. So
he's averaging 25 and 9.
25 and 9? Oh, you close. Look at you, man.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, but I know who the nigga is. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been in the league long enough. Like, you know the type of nigga he is. You know the type of nigga is. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just that he hasn't, whether it be injury or whatever, he hasn't made the impact moments yet. He just hasn't done that yet.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that's where you're not putting him up there with the big dogs, because he just hasn't had the moments. He hasn't seized those moments yet.
Right, consistently.
That's his only. No, I mean, ever where it really mattered.
The bubble. I think the bubble. Showcased. Him showing up in a big moment. Like he had a clutch game-winning 3 against the Nuggets in that conference finals. So, but like I said, I think we need to see it more consistently with him. And unfortunately, he's injury prone to the point where we don't see enough of him on the court. But
who would you say was a bigger impact in that year, LeBron or Anthony Davis?
I think it was Anthony Davis.
Okay. I don't remember it on the top of my head, so I would have to.
I'm just going off of the fact that he was available, and maybe from the time the league shut down in March of that year, 2020, to the time that they got in the bubble, that was enough time for him to rest his body, get his legs under him, get in the bubble, and then he kind of took off from that point on.
Who won MVP? LeBron?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, look,
Of
I
course.
don't know, but okay, yeah, I hear you. I
That
hear
was
you.
4 years ago. It was a little over.
Yeah,
No, it's
I don't. I just don't
almost
remember.
almost 4 years ago. That's
Mm.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's
time flies. Time
that's
flies.
crazy. I
Time
remember
flies.
the two of us sitting here during COVID saying, "Man, like, when's this stuff gonna get back to normal?" And we're 3 years removed from that. Like
Yeah, I
that's
mean that's the
crazy.
reason why we on Zoom now. We was
Yeah.
doing shows in my
Right.
in my crib.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Hey, I gotta show some love to the homie Jalen Brunson. First All Star appearance this year, even though I think he should still be a starter, but that's another conversation for another day. My man got the reserve spot in the Eastern Conference. And man, I tell you, it was a Thursday night. TNT, they had their games on and they had their little reserves pregame show where they're going to
Mm-hmm.
release who the reserves are going to be and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like that night, man, because the Knicks had a game against Indiana shortly after. From the time that they announced that he was going to be a reserve to the time when they started the game, and I watched that whole entire game, and again, we're shorthanded. There's no Randall, no Mitch, and we're missing OG and Grimes, and we're like playing on this 7-man rotation, and that was a physical game. Like Brunson he took an elbow to the eye late in the fourth quarter, went right back down the court, got an and one, put us up by two, finished the game, beat the Pacers, and it just seemed like that night was the coronation of Jalen Brunson for him to be like that dude,
Mm-hmm.
like the superstar that people have been questioning for about a year since he's been here, right?
Right.
So that was special. Like even they was asking him on the court, like, hey, you dropped another 40 points. You're an all-star. How does this feel? The garden is lit. Everybody chanting MVP, MVP, and he's shedding a tear, and it's like, man, like this dude is ready for this moment. Like,
Cut all that goddamn crying out though.
you know, hey man, that
Cut all
was
that goddamn crying out.
don't ruin the moment, man.
Yeah, no, cut all that goddamn crying out,
don't
bro.
don't don't
Cut all
don't
that goddamn crying
don't
out,
don't
man.
ruin the moment, man.
So
But
you said you want to get into another day, but we ain't never gonna get into it another day.
what's
Who
that?
shouldn't? Who he got? So you feel like he got snubbed? Clearly,
As a starter,
yeah,
as a
he got
starter.
snubbed. Right? You feel like he got snubbed. So who do you take out?
Oh, Dame.
You take out Dame? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah. That's easy
Okay.
for me.
That's easy. Okay, respect, respect.
That's easy for me.
Yeah, I feel like you needed to just go ahead and say that. There ain't no whole need to get into nothing. Tell the people in the back that Dame Lillard shouldn't be a starter and it should be Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
So why you feel like Dame got it over him?
Oh, the fan vote.
This the name? Yeah. Okay.
Fan vote.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So no. I feel like I feel like he had a 70-pointer at some point this season, right? Dame
Dame.
Lillard. I don't know that for a fact.
Was it 70? I don't know if I don't know
He
if
might
it
have
was
had
this
one.
year. I don't know if it
He
was
might.
this year though. But I do feel like he dropped 70 at some point in the
I feel like
last
he had. I feel like
two,
he
3
had one of them
years.
games. I feel like he had with Dame. I don't even know how to Google. I don't know how I'm
Yeah.
looking for this shit right now.
Yeah.
Google. I got Google.
But while we're talking snubs, though, the guy that I think got snubbed overall would be Trey Young.
Well, he's in now.
Well, he's in because he's taking.
Yeah, somebody got injured. Yeah.
Right. He's
Randall
taking
and somebody else.
Embiid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he didn't get in on the first, go round. So, but I kind of knew that he would be picked to take one of those guys' places. But I don't know if you've seen Trey Young's numbers, but 28 and 10. The dude's been balling. I know the team ain't that great, but
Yeah,
that
that's it
ain't
right
never
there.
been right. That ain't never been the criteria to make an all-star team. If if
Well,
your team's bad.
well, I mean, ain't it mainly vote? Mainly vote.
It's a fan vote. It's players vote, and I think coaches vote now too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, there's some kind of way they determine who gets the starter spot. I don't know the algorithm just yet, but that's what they've implemented. So, but yeah, man, congrats to my guy Jalen Brunson, man. Much deserved, man. He had a big moment last week. I just wanted to shout that out, and I know
just 45. He scored 45.
it was 45.
Yeah, it's 45 recently.
Oh, okay, all right. But my guy Jalen Brunson, and I looked on the FanDuel Sportsbook just the other day, and I looked at it earlier today. So right now he's got the 6th best odds to win league MVP. And so now the favorites over him, you got Jokic at 1, SGA at number 2, Giannis at 3, Luka at 4, and Kawhi Leonard has creeping up into the MVP conversation.
Okay.
And I haven't watched a lot of Kawhi Leonard just yet, but I know the Clippers have been
they ball like
balling.
25-5 in their last 30 or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw.
Yep. So, and Jalen Brunson is 6 right there with the 6th best odds right there.
So how much money you putting down?
On him to win the MVP?
Absolutely.
I haven't determined how much money I'm putting down yet.
All right.
I'll be honest with you, I haven't determined if I'm even gonna bet that he's gonna win it or not.
Come on, man. You got to rep for your squad, man.
I could rep for my squad without putting any money up.
I mean, you kind of can't. If I'm being honest with you, like,
why can't I?
I'm feeling like you're not even a real Knicks fan if you don't put 20 on it. And you got it. It ain't like you ain't got $20 funky ass $20.
I ain't saying I don't got it. I'm just saying.
I know you got it. That ain't the question. I know you got it.
I'm just
I see it shining.
I'm just saying I don't know if I'm a bet it or not.
Nah,
I'm saying as of right now.
I'm
saying as of right now.
I'm telling you this right now. If Jordan Poole was number 6 for MVP right now, I'm putting $20 down.
Okay. All right, you ain't wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong about it. There's no right or wrong here. Just don't say I'm wrong for not voting for Jalen Brunson.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm starting to question your Knicks fandom.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm just telling you how I'm just venting.
Because
it's a safe space, right?
It is a safe space, but
I'm venting. I don't know. I'm just talking. I don't know, man. Don't mind me, man. I'm just talking. Don't mind me, man. I just be out here.
I'm not a real fan because I don't bet money.
No, I'm just saying. I'm starting to. It's given, like these youngins say, it's given not real Knicks fan right now.
Oh, stop it.
I'm just hey bro.
Stop.
Hey bro, I'm just saying. Hey man, don't mind me, man. Hey, forget I said it.
Stop it, bro.
Forget I said it, bro.
You tired? You tired?
Yeah, I'm always tired, man. My life is tired. Tired, raising kids and sinning is my life.
Your life. Is that all you got, man?
That's all I got, bro. I thought you had all the topics. I was done. I was running the ball off your play, no homo.
All right. Well, certainly appreciate young Hev coming on here.
Yes, sir.
With the 49ers talk and everybody in the chats, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Shout out to y'all. You know, the chat was looking pretty live tonight. I do got one more thing.
I knew you was gonna do that shit. I saw that shit all on your spirit.
I do got one more thing, man. And I'm a play.
Nigga was ready to close out the show and everything. Go ahead.
I just got one more thing, and it's a shout out. I was watching our friend BK Steph, Knicks fan.
Shout out BK Steph.
You know, her and the crew did a show last night talking Knicks, and I was in the chat toward the end of the show, and she gave a special shout out to us. But she gave a special shout out specifically to you.
Oh shit!
And
how could you leave this to the end of the show, man?
Hey, I might be brilliant like that. I don't know, but
let me find out. You always been my Curry champion, bro.
But hey, don't call me Curry champion. Hey, I keep telling you about doing that, my G.
You always been the moderator, man.
Hey, shout out Curry champion because she's doing bigger, better things. So
that's what's up.
Shout out to her. But I'm gonna play this for you because she gave you a specific shout out to you. She actually forgot your name a little bit, but
that's cool.
She knew who she was talking about. Take a listen here.
I think it was before the season. I had a great time with them. I know, I forget his name. I know he hurting. He a Washington Wizards fan. I know he hurting right now. Until next time.
Shout out to BK Steph.
Shout out BK Steph.
I don't know how clear that came across the mic there.
No, I heard. I heard it. I heard it. So
okay, all right. That's what's up. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the chats. The homie Young Head for dropping through. Appreciate you. Continue to follow us on the social media tip. Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. On Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Twitch channel. Click the like button on the Facebook page. We got emails, so if you got questions or comments, barbershopsportstalk1 at gmail.com is where you can reach us at. Follow us on any of the streaming platforms. If you listen to this on the audio tip, Google, I'm about to say Audify, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Leave us a review. Let us know what you think about the show. It goes a long way. And the merch store. We got the link in the description of this episode. Wherever you're watching, click on it. We got some hoodies, mugs, t-shirts, hats. Looking to add a little bit more as the season goes on. Make sure y'all check that out. Support the fam. And, as always, folks, love, peace, and happiness. And always remember, mind your damn business, folks.
Drink some water.
Oh, yeah, we got him. Trey, Frazier, and Maestro Styles.
Recording stop.
We got one. Right back like we left some. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey sharp with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.